Hey everyone, just a quick update on Logic Studio. There's a couple cool new features that will definitely help you be more productive using AI in agent workflows, and I'm going to jump in right now and show you. Stick around to the end of the video and I'll have another fun announcement about the future of Logic Studio and where we're going from here. Okay, so in our canvas, let's dive in. I'm going to create a GitHub repository that is going to load in, I'm going to load in a whole bunch of files. So this is the actual Logic Studio repository. Let's say I want to read 20 or 30 different files and I want to be able to update my README, which is something that I have to do. So I can go and expand my folder, go into public, and I want to get all my components. I want the README to be updated that has all the component information. And to do that, I'm going to create a new agent. And there we've got all of the files loaded in. I don't know, that's maybe 30 files. I'm going to post in a new, some instructions. So I have the instructions predefined here, so I can paste that in. And what I can do is I can now go into beast mode. And so in beast mode, you can unleash an AI agent to go and execute a whole bunch of different tasks. And I'm going to pick, what I do is first you pick the socket that is going to be receiving the file content or any other card output, but in this case, file. And then I actually get to pick the card, so I want the GitHub card. And so this agent is going to go and create connections now back to the GitHub. It's going to read all of those files, and I can actually have it write a summary for each of those files that I can include in the README. So I'm going to execute on that, and you can see that the agent card is off writing summaries, and it's automatically drawing its own connections. So it's actually reaching out and connecting into this card. You could connect this into as many cards as you want. So if you had files open, if you had GitHub open, if you had transcripts, if you had text, if you had chat outputs, any of these things, an agent or a team of agents can now tie into any of those files autonomously. So whenever it gets triggered, it automatically will go and read the whole range of content from your canvas. And so that's pretty cool because that means that we are now able to go and give agents tasks that could take them 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, really parsing through a lot of information. And so I'm just having it write a summary for my README, but you could have it do security scanning, you could have it do accessibility, you could have it do documentation, unit tests, all that kind of stuff. You could just unleash it against your GitHub repository, for example. And then if you were a product owner, you could go in and not really know much about code, but you could go through, analyze this, and come up with a list of key bugs, common issues, whatnot. You can put that in the backlog. And so that's an exciting way to be able to use the agent card. And you'll see that if we add a view card, you can connect the view in. And then what you're seeing is each of these summaries is getting written here into the view. But the agent, when it's in beast mode, is actually storing all this content in the background. So it's giving you one at a time what its tasks are, but it's remembering all of the outputs together. So it's actually creating a compendium of all of its information. And then when we're ready to actually download this, we can put this into a download card, and we can make it markdown, which is what our README file is, and we'll be able to connect into that. So I'll connect that in. And this means that when it's done the task, which it's almost done, it can go ahead and do that. While it's finishing the task, I'll show you a couple cool things. I don't know, some of you noticed that last time I made the width adjustable, but the height is now adjustable for all of these cards as well. So if you want to get a little bit more reading room, you can do that. You can move this around. I also optimize the components a lot as well. I'm using Vue as the background, and it's a reactive framework, and so I had to rejig a few things so that when you're dragging content around the screen, it wasn't doing a lot of updates in the background, which was really cutting into performance. So it's almost done, and now we'll be able to see the final summary here come out on the other side. So now what do we have? We have a complete summary of all of the different cards. This is the analysis it's created for all those 20, 30 different cards. It's compiled it all into a complete output, and we can now see that output. Let's open it up in Word, for example. We can now see that output here, and it's written up all that. It's created the proper headings for all that stuff, and we've got now a description for each of the different key components that we're using in the repository. So That's super helpful for us to be able to summarize and document what each of these different pieces does. And as you see, like it's output 7 pages of content here. And if you were to load that into ChatGPT or Claude, it wouldn't do this for you. It would sort of give you a page or two and then maybe get a bit tired and want to take shortcuts. There's been a couple of other fun features that I've added, so I'll just make a new canvas here. One of the fun features is around text. So when we're interacting with large language models, often we have a large body of text that we're bringing in, and there have been a lot of strategies to chunk that information, to parse it out, to make it more readable and usable for a language model. I'll show you something sort of fun here. Let me create a contract. So say, create me a contract with specific named sections and subsections, which are numbered, and make the contract a rental agreement for a commercial space. So I can do that, and it's going to go and create this contract. And what we can do here is we can go forward and we can break this up into different sections. So right now, if you look at this, it's going to create this big long piece with all these sections and subsections and subsections and subsections. And what we can do now is we can actually use the text card and split that apart, and that way we can have our agent work on each and every single part of it. So if you brought in a long piece of legislation, if you brought in a very lengthy manual, a book, anything that has chapters, whatever, you can bring that now into the text card, and you can now write a text pattern or a regular expression that is going to match that. So I'm actually going to ask it, what regular expression would match on the section and subsection pattern in this text. So there, I've just put in the regular expression, and it split this whole thing into individual pieces, right? So that's the whole contract. Now I can create an agent that comes along, and I can say, you are acting as my lawyer, flagging anything obvious which I would not want to sign. And then I'll say, please evaluate this section and let me know if there is anything bad with this contract from my perspective as the tenant. So I can go like that. And then I'll go back into beast mode. I'll pick the user socket. I'll add the card, which is going to be my text card. And then I'm just going to pick GPT 4.0, and then I'm going to hit trigger. So it's actually going to read every single part of this and to see if there's any points that I need to consider. So it's giving step by step. So look at your square footage, check that the exhibit A, confirm that the space aligns with the description, look at the permitted uses, make sure that what your use is compliant with that. Look at the dates, look at the duration, verify the numbers, look at the termination clauses. And let's create another agent while it's working. I'm going to create another agent here, and I'm going to say, summarize documents using Markdown into one to 2 pages for client review. Please consolidate the following concerns into a single document. All right, let me see the most important elements to review on the document so I can make a decision. No more than one to 2 pages again. So I'll say that, I'll go document, I'll add that tag in there. And then once it's finished, I'm going to bring the entire thing over and have this agent create me an output. I will have it download into a nice Word document. So I'll add that as a Word document there, and I'll add this as the output here. And then what we can do here is, it's still working away through this rental contract, But you could easily come in now and just substitute this chat with any other file. Let's say I had a legal file I wanted to upload, so I could have a file input. And I could then match this exact, I could do this exact process for any kind of long, complex legal description or things like that. Now, of course, it's not a lawyer. You have to make your own decisions. But for people like me who have to read a lot of information in a short amount of time, it's handy to be able to have your agent come through and perhaps look at this and just flag areas of interest so that when I am reading the document, I can go through and I can sort of have a bit of a cheat sheet, which will tell me what to look for. So there you see the analysis is done. So I'm going to go in and I've got my agent here. So my agent is going to read all of the outputs, and it's building my one pager here. And it should be done, one or two pager. It should be done here in a moment. And when the light goes green, I'll download the document and I'll see what the recommendations are. So it's gone green. I hit download, open that up, and here are the key considerations. So it's step by step, telling you what some of the things to look for. Double check, look at the duration, look at the renewal terms, look at the security deposit. The rental amount's not indicated here, so you have to fill that part in. And just some things to look forward to. So I hope that this has been kind of a helpful step-by-step as to how you can leverage a tool like this to help you in some complex tasks, look at a large amount of information and very quickly and create something meaningful. And when you're happy with this, like I said, you just hit download. You now have a like a complex form review process. So you name it, you download it. I've got that here. I can come back anytime and resume right where I am. So I hope you find that interesting. The exciting announcement is that I developed Logic Studio over a couple of weeks starting at Christmas, and now we're early February. And what I see is a huge amount of potential for us to take on big challenges. And of course, I work in the public sector. So I'm really interested in sharing this tool so that my colleagues in the federal, provincial, and territorial governments, the municipalities, and so forth, can go and leverage AI to create meaningful, powerful agentic workflows. And to that end, Logic Studio is now supported and licensed by the Government of Alberta. So you can go on to GovAlta on GitHub, and you can get the latest code and all of the latest updates. So I really hope that if you work in the public sector, if you work for the government, or even the private sector, if this is a tool that is helpful for you, if you're looking to increase your productivity and help your team have meaningful tools, please check it out. And we're hoping to build a community of practice so that we can continue to grow and evolve this tool. And I'm very excited to see where this goes next. I know that AI agents are all of the buzz and all the excitement right now. And so if this is a tool that you think might help you, please reach out to my organization, reach out to the Government of Alberta, and we would be excited to talk to you about collaboration, building new features, and how to continue to keep this in the public realm as a totally free, open source, MIT license technology that you can leverage very readily. So please check it out and contribute, and let's make this into a tremendous platform that we can all leverage or learn from as we go on our AI journey. So thank you very much. I hope that this has been interesting, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. Let's keep building.